So, Vargoth Blood Sky Sire is currently sitting on an amazing win rate of 27.78, really close to 28 average win rate, from 13 total tournament entries, which potentially makes it into the best mono-black commander currently in the format. But there is a problem currently. The total decks or the total tournament entries, 13, are not enough. Result is not statistically significant. Therefore, the current best mono-black commander goes to Krieg, because from 81 tournament entries, we have a significant result that is trustworthy. So in this video, we are not going to look into statistics regarding Vargoth. Instead, we're going to look into what the Vargoth decks, the tournament decks that have entered so far, are actually up to. And more like a typical classic deck tech video. Link in the description below of the video to this web page where you can scroll around and look at different Vargoth deck lists. But I will shortcut it all for you and tell you something simple. They are all very similar. And they are all really weird. If you scroll down, you're going to find that most of them are playing something around 45 plus lands. And that is going to make you a little bit skeptic. Then you're gonna look around on the average CMC of things. Chalice of the Void 0, Chromox 0, this one, let's skip that one. Elixir of Immortality, Evil Flowing Chalice, this one, Jewel Lotus, Mox Amber, Mishra's Bubble, Mana Vault, Mana Crypt, Lotus Petal, something on 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, and 0 CMC mana cost. Slaughter Pact 0, we are playing Profane. No, that's not the Profane Tutor. Some of the decks are playing the Profane Tutor, this one is not. But as you can see here, it's a very extreme mana curve for your Ad Nauseam here. And if you go up to the creatures, 0, 0, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. When you say 0 over and over, it sounds so strange. But then you go, what in the world is this deck actually trying to do? Like Ad Nauseam for the entire deck list? Yeah, pretty much. You are currently looking at the free card combo that is all assembled by Ad Nauseam. Okay, so Ad Nauseam is basically a one card combo in this deck with an extremely low CMC mana curve. When Ad Nauseam resolves, you're going to draw into Dark Sphere and Sickening Dreams. If you don't, you're going to draw into Fast Mana, Rituals, and Tutors to find the two cards you currently look at. Let's begin by looking into Sickening Dreams. So for 2 mana, 1 black, 1 generic sorcery as an additional cost to play Sickening Dreams, discard X cards from your hand. Sickening Dreams deals X damage to each creature and each player. Originally a board wipe. But if you discard enough cards, you can kill all of your opponents. But post Ad Nauseam, you're going to die here. That's where we're going to use the Dark Sphere. For 0 mana artifact, sacrifice Dark Sphere to prevent half of the damage done to you by a single source rounded down. So you're going to draw 40 plus cards, or a really high amount of cards basically, without losing too much life, because your entire deck CMC is literally 0, so you draw for losing 0 life more or less. Then with Sickening Dreams, you're going to discard all your cards, but use Dark Sphere before that to basically prevent half of the damage done by Sickening Dreams to yourself, and you survive. And if we only had white, we could just go Angel's Grace instead. But what makes this deck really strong is that you only need to get your commander into play and you have your Ad Nauseam basically in your hand next turn, because Vargoth will basically do Vamp Tutors every single turn. So get Vargoth, get your Ad Nauseam, resolve the Ad Nauseam, and win. And if you aren't able to get your Vargoth into play, to get your Ad Nauseam into your hand with the Vargoth in the command zone, then yeah, you're mono black. You have access to a lot of tutors and a lot of fast mana, so you could just play Ad Nauseam the normal classic way. You can actually be a little bit spicy here, include other cards as well, like Aetherflux Reservoir if you're drawing enough cards with your Ad Nauseam, enough Rituals, enough fast mana, enough stuff in general, you can just dump stuff into play, casting spells, gain more mana, get triggers on the laser cannon, and win that way. Sometimes the laser cannon is in the deck together with Sickening Dreams and Dark Sphere as well, that's actually usually the thing, and then you could use Aetherflux Reservoir to climb up the life total, not enough to 150 plus to kill all 3 opponents, but just enough to survive the Sickening Dreams. Here I have such a list: Vargoth as the commander, there's the Ad Nauseam, there's the Aetherflux Reservoir, there's the Dark Sphere, and there's the Sickening Dreams, and this guy is playing the Profane Tutor. So in the end, same concept with some small different variants here and there. We're going to talk a little bit more about other different options you can do inside Vargoth that is actually really cool. But before we do that, I want to highlight something very important. One thing that is where I believe why Vargoth is actually getting a pretty good win rate. You see, the combo just showcased for you is a little bit weird and not something people are expecting. When people see tutors in mono black this style, they often go, okay, he's going to turbo Ad Nauseam or he is going to toolbox, and we don't really understand what this Vargoth deck is doing, and some people might actually say, oh, Vargoth, that is probably casual, and underestimate the commander. So me doing this video and showcasing to the world what this deck is actually up to might actually make the win rate decrease. And that is why I want to highlight the fact that currently Vargoth is showcasing some great potential, but over time as the deck is seeing more action, we will see if it's keeping that win rate. But it has one really cool and actually pretty good gimmick going for it. A really cool, grindy backup plan. And if you're a casual player, I honestly think this is more fun than winning. So everyone at this point pretty much knows what Oppo Agent is doing. Now with Vargoth you can force your opponents to actually search their library, which transforms Vargoth into Praetor Grasp activated ability. Okay, only once each turn whenever the commander actually attacks, but still, pretty good. And from here you can sit and steal counter spells, you can sit and steal value engines like Heuristic Studies, the One Ring, you can steal Fastest and Consult, I mean, you can do anything. And this is also something people are actually doing from now and then, so you have Vargoth and then you have Oppo Agent. Here is another Vargoth decklist with Vargoth as the commander, opposition agent, all the CMC 0 creatures, Sickening Dreams, Aetherflux and Dark Sphere, and this time 47 lands. This actually reminds me of my VALAKUT Ad Nauseam. I have so many different decklists. Here it is, in the bottom. Ha! I play 49 lands in my version. What a noob scrub that Vargoth is. But this deck is a similar concept. You're going to tutor for Ad Nauseam, get it into your hands somehow. We don't have tutors in the command zone, but we have more colors, and then draw our entire deck. And because everything is basically lands and extremely low CMC cost on everything, we're going to put Mana Bond into play and win the game that way. I have a deck tech video about this, link in the description below or up there in the corner if you want to take a look at it. I want to talk a little bit more about Vargoth's win rate and why it could potentially drop a little bit more. And that is because this is extremely telegraphed. A personal problem I always have playing cEDH is that people can sit and calculate that I can win on my next turn. All search combo orientated commanders suffer from this equally. If people can see that you can activate cEDH and find X cards that will equal into a win, that means that cEDH has to be interacted with. Yisan, very similar. And Vargoth will suffer from this problem. If you can attack with Vargoth, everyone knows that you can find your Ad Nauseam. And that is going to put a target on you, unless you can convince people that you're a casual deck. Which you can do for now, considering that not that many people actually know about his commander, but over time the gig might be up. But this is where I actually think that Vargoth has potential. The opposition agent Vargoth is actually a serious thing. And you literally could just deviate away from the entire Ad Nauseam plan and play a true control and toolbox control deck that is going to be mono black, find specific cards that you need, or potentially politics with your opponent. I mean, you can target someone that's your opponent. If they like agree to find like interaction or force of wills, I mean, maybe. Regardless, my point is that you're not forced to play Vargoth in a specific way. You can play Vargoth however you like. You have a lot of different options having a toolbox commander, so to say. And it actually might be good to deviate a tiny bit to throw your opponents off guard and surprise them. If everyone have watched this video and believes that Vargoth is going to Ad Nauseam and suddenly you're doing something different, then you have completely bamboozled people. This was a short deck tech video showcasing Vargoth, explaining how he works and how people are currently playing him. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it entertaining and potentially even learned something new. Take care guys, and I'll see you soon.